Hi everyone, we are the group 2 of Understanding the Self, reporting. We are discussing the module 2, Unfolding the Biological Self. I am the group leader, Maricris Bernasido, and my co-members is Ginebet I. Agustin, Guadalupe Sharon B. Nadwa, Michael Angelo T. Regalado, and Gilbert Francisco. So today, I will discuss the introduction of our topic, which is the unfolding the biological self. This module tackles three important representations of self, which is the physical self and the sexual self. The first section identifies biological and environmental factors that affect the physical self, as well as issues and challenges that individuals face with regard to their physical characteristics. And the second section discusses sexual attributes, characteristics, gender, and responsible sexual behavior. And now we will proceed to the first section of our topic, which is the physical self. This explains the biological and environmental factors that shape the physical self. It also delves into social-cultural issues associated with physical well-being. The biological blueprint. This is a crucial aspect of one's physical features. People are often recognized initially by their physical features, including our face, our body, structure, our height, and weight. However, more than the physical attributes, people should also consider their physical competencies, valuation of physical worth, and perception of beauty. The physical self, however, is surrounded by issues associated with our health, hygiene, nutrition, and standards of beauty, among others. Also, the physical self is not only limited to what can be seen by the naked eye or our naked eye. Underneath the skin is a dynamic system of biological and chemical processes that can contribute to one's physical features. Body structure, height, weight, skin color, hair color, and other physical characteristics do not just develop at random. These are triggered by genetic transformations and biological development through heredity. Heredity is defined as the transmission of traits from parents to offspring. The traits are made up of specific information embedded within one's genes. The example of this is you inherit the skin color of your mother or the hair color, also the physical traits, same as for your father. Next is gene. This is the basic unit of heredity. The manifestation of a particular trait can be attributed to the concepts of genotype and phenotype. Genotype refers to the specific information embedded within one's genes. Not all genotypes translate to unobserved physical characteristics. Next, phenotype is the physical expression of a particular trait. These two can be differentiated to genotype can be determined through blood testing, while phenotype can be directly observed. For example, imagine that a man who has fair skin and a woman who has brown skin produce a brown-skinned male offspring. While you may assume that the newborn inherited only the skin color of his mom, a close examination of his genotype may reveal that he also got the gene for fair skin from his dad. This phenomenon can be attributed to the concept of dominant and recessive genes. Dominant and recessive genes are dependent on alleles, which are alternate versions of a particular gene. Since human cells carry 2 copies of chromosomes, they have 2 versions of each gene. Each individual carries 23 pairs of chromosomes, which are the thread-like bodies in the nucleus of the cell and a storage unit of genes. The 23 paired or also known as sex chromosomes, determines the sex of an individual. This is the XY combination indicates a male and the XX combination indicates a female. Within each chromosome is the deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA, which is a nucleic acid that contains the genetic instructions specifying the biological development of every individual.
Environmental conditioning. While one genetic information determines the extent of his or her physical features, it is not the only factor that influences the physical self. As you grow up, you are exposed to environmental influences that shape your physical self, including those from your social networks, societal expectation, and cultural practices. Family is our first social groups who form a crucial foundation of our development, including our physical self. They are also the one who is responsible in taking care of our body. As we grow older, we get exposed to a larger social group with new practices and standards. We become conscious in our physical appearance, such as our height, weight, facial features, and other physical characteristics. One aspect of physical beauty is a person's body type. Contemporary media has portrayed slim bodies as the ideal body type for women and muscular bodies for men. So adolescents in activities that would enable them to achieve these ideal body types. For some of those activities involve having a healthy lifestyle. However, some adolescents may resort to unhealthy habits. Environmental conditioning. While one genetic information determines the extent of his or her physical features, it is not the only factor that influences the physical self. As you grow up, you are exposed to environmental influences that shape your physical self, including those from your social networks, societal expectation, and cultural practices. Family is our first social groups who form a crucial foundation of our development, including our physical self. They are also the one who is responsible in taking care of our body. As we grow older, we get exposed to a larger social group with new practices and standards. We become conscious in our physical appearance, such as our height, weight, facial features, and other physical characteristics. One aspect of physical beauty is a person's body type. Contemporary media has portrayed slim bodies as the ideal body type for women and muscular bodies for men. So adolescents in activities that would enable them to achieve these ideal body types. For some of those activities involve having a healthy lifestyle. However, some adolescents may resort to unhealthy habits.
Achieving physical well-being. Number 1. Healthy eating. It means reining in a fast food habit or consuming more fruits and vegetables, while for others, it means occasionally enjoying a piece of cake without feeling guilty. Number 2. Embracing a healthy lifestyle, a way of living that helps you enjoy more aspects of your life. Healthy is not just about avoiding disease or illness. It is about physical, mental, and social well-being too. 3. Maintaining proper hygiene. Undertaking good personal hygiene is the act of looking after and maintaining your body in order to be clean and presentable for the workplace. 4. Being confident. Self-confidence, belief in your own abilities or judgment.
So in section 2, we will discuss the topic about the sexual self. This section tackles one of the most crucial aspects of human development, the sexual self. It highlights biological and environmental factors that shape sexual development. Tips on regulating social behavior are also provided.
The sociobiological aspect of the self. The vital aspect of one's identity is sexual self, encompassing the biological, physical, emotional, and social domains. While it is usually rooted in distinguishing physical attributes found men and women, bodily transformation and development of secondary sexual characteristics during adolescence also triggered the physiological response leading to beliefs. During this stage, sexual curiosity is often at its peak. Further, the gender orientation of the adolescent may manifest at this stage. It is important for a person to be aware of his or her sexuality, thoughts, and behavior in order to make responsible choices, concerns.
The biology of sex. At birth, the sexual genital, penis for male and vaginal for female, is a biological feature that distinguish male. Moreover, during puberty, observable changes in the human body, also known as secondary sexual characteristics, begin. For males, the changes include the growth of facial and bodily hair, emergence of Adam's apple, deepening of voice, and muscle development. For male, the onset of menstruation and noticeable changes in the hips, breast, and skin underlie the sexual changes during the development stage.
Sexual identity and gender orientation. At birth, one's sexuality depends on his or her physical features and genitals. Most of the time, one's sexuality and gender orientation correspond with each other. However, those are different things. Biological sex is one's assignment upon birth and is dependent on physical features, while gender is an identity that is learned and embraced by the individual. Gender roles refers to societal expectation of how men and women should act. Everyone has a basic rules. Men never assume to be strong and dominant while women are perceived to be submissive and demure. A person who born man but assume womanly and a woman who behave like a man is an aspect of sexual orientation. A guy who is attracted to girls is considered heterosexual while someone who is attracted to same sex is called homosexual.
The consequences of sexual choice. Sexual intercourse are also known as copulation. It is the reproductive act in which the male organ or penis enters the female's reproductive tract or vagina. Adolescent couples who engage in sexual intercourse are usually overwhelmed by the sensations they feel during the act. Having a child entails a big responsibility and should not merely be a consequence of an impulsive moment. Physical risk to having an early pregnancy may impact an adolescent's development, including miscarriage, emotional stress, and health risk to both mother and infant. Pregnancy does not only affect the females. Males are also burdened by the responsibility of caring for a new child and its partner, and may also face the same problems as the female. Aside from pregnancy, another consequence of impulsive and careless intercourse is the risk of acquiring sexually transmitted diseases or STDs. While most of them can be treated or cured, STDs may have been long-term consequences to one's health. Among the STDs are syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and genital warts. Treatment may entail medication and in some surgery. However, there are cases when these diseases may affect one's reproductive functions and worse may lead to death. The most alarming sexually transmitted disease is the acquired immune deficiency syndrome or AIDS, caused by the human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. It can be transmitted by contact between broken skin, wounds, or mucous membrane and HIV-infected blood or blood-contaminated body fluids. Untreated HIV can lead to AIDS, which compromises the immune system and puts the person at risk of illness and death. How does one acquire a sexually transmitted disease? STDs are prevalent among individuals who engage in unprotected sex with multiple partners. Aside from health risk, STDs may also ruin relationships, create a negative stigma against a person, and risk other aspects of one's social life. Responsible sexual behavior entails the following. First is respect for one's body. It means taking care of one's body and avoiding activities that undermine one's worth and respect. Second, maturity in thoughts and deeds. It refers to being objective, rational, and calm, instead of being swept by one's emotions. Third, being guided by one's personal beliefs and core values. Everyone, especially an adolescent, should always be grounded by his or her personal principles and self-worth. And the last, being future-oriented. Instead of focusing on the present, a person should always weigh his or her present actions with possible consequences in the future.
Summary. The physical self includes physical development, attractiveness, and characteristics which are redefining features about a person's body, physique, face, hair, nose, or the color of the skin, which are indicators of fertility and health. Also, physical self involves the perception and evaluation of one's physical ability and appearance. Sexual self concept refers to the totality of oneself as a sexual being, including positive and negative concepts and feelings.